Do I look like Ron Burgundy? Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing really well. I thought I'd go for like the cozy turtleneck today, and I don't normally wear them, and I'm not sure, but we're gonna stick with it because it's really soft. Like, I love them on other people. Do I love them on me? I don't know yet. So after saying in my last testing LACURA makeup video, which I'll link up here and in the description bar, and to be honest, it's probably going to be recommended after this because YouTube search, pretty good. But in that video, I said that I chose the Moondust palette because there were 3 of them and I didn't feel like I really should buy 3 of them because I didn't need 3 palettes. But then, you guys seem to really enjoy that video, and so, you know, give the people what they want. But also, I went into my local Aldi the other day and they only had a few of them left. So I have checked online and these are still available online. So if your local Aldi is sold out, don't worry, you can still get them. But they had a few of the other palette that I was eyeing up at the time, and basically I caved and I bought the Revival palette as well. This was the one that I was sort of choosing between when I last picked up this one. So I'm really excited to give it a go. It looks like it's all kind of pinks and kind of warmer tones, so hence the cozy jumper. Trying to stay on theme, and I'm excited to give this a go. So while Moondust is kind of set as a bit of a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills, I still can't say it, I never will be able to, so. But it's considered a dupe for the Norvina palette. This one is considered a dupe for the Modern Renaissance palette, so, which is kind of the other one that I've been eyeing up from them, but you know what, we're just gonna call them ABH because that's what everybody else does, and I'm starting to understand why. So let's crack into this. As we know, I can never open the darn things, and here it is. I have to say, the packaging of these feels so, this is even softer than this one actually. Oh, it's so nice. So both of these palettes are $5.99. So, I mean, you literally can't go wrong. Oh, okay, so this palette here is basically a warm neutrals lover's dream, and then you've got these little kind of pops of cranberry. There is actually a shade called Renaissance. On first impression, this looks gorgeous. Okay, you can go 2 ways with this palette. We can either go the kind of neutral side and warm it up with a bit of this orangey shade Vitality, or we can go more cranberry warm. I'm thinking cranberry nails, cranberry eye look. I think that's what we're gonna do. I think that's the route we're gonna go. Something which I just noticed, which is interesting between these 2 palettes, this one doesn't have any glitters. It's got some shimmery shades, but we've got more mattes in this palette, whereas this palette, this entire top row are like glitters and shimmers. So if you are more of a matte eyeshadow person, this one may be a better fit for you. I've been really enjoying this. You can see that I've been digging into Constellation, that one there. I've been really enjoying this palette, I have to say. I've been using it quite a lot, and the colour Earth is absolutely stunning. It blends like a dream. Side by side, that's what they look like. Much more mattes and just a little bit of shimmer. Got some more glitters in, a bit more jazzy, shall we say. Another thing that I really enjoy about these palettes is that when you open them, they lie like this, and it's just really lovely to just pop them down on your surface and just have them there and have them at the slight angle. I don't know why, there's just something about the user experience of that I really love, particularly if you're getting ready in like a smaller area. So I always get ready at my windowsill, it's where I film, and I put everything on the radiator or on my windowsill. So I don't have a huge amount of space. So I really appreciate that. And I know it's a weird thing to point out, but you know, somebody else might like that too. Right, first things first, as always, get the hairband on. I appreciate that I look about 12 when I put my hair back like this, but it's practical, so then deal with it. So I don't have any makeup on at all right now. So I'm just gonna go in with my trusty H&M eyeshadow primer. There we go, job's good. And I always think I look really strange when I've only got eyeshadow primer on, because it just makes your like eyelid look really bright, which is really, really good, but at the same time, always makes me think it looks a bit funny. Right, as always, I'm going to start with the brush that comes with it, just because I think a lot of people who are going to be buying these palettes may not have like a whole, you know, jar of brushes. So I always want to give these a go. And I was actually really quite impressed with the brush that came in the other palette. So we're going to have a little try. So I'm going to go in, because we're going to keep more to the cranberry tones in this palette, I'm going to go in with Awaken, which is this mauvey, like lilac-y shade, I guess. That was the fastest blend I'd ever done in my life. Like, wow. This is a pretty softly pressed eyeshadow, which is probably why it is blending so easily. But just worth bearing in mind, as softer eyeshadows can get a little bit messy, particularly in the pan. But I really enjoy how softer pressed eyeshadows perform. So kick up in the pan never really bothers me, because to be honest, I'm like, yes, this means it's gonna blend, it's gonna be really soft, it's gonna be easier to work with. And when you have to really work to like get a colour like out of the palette, I'm a bit like, I can't be bothered, basically. Lately, I've been sort of experimenting with bringing my eyeshadow a little bit further up. I think it's one of those, you know, hooded eye techniques that I learned from Stephanie Lang. If you haven't watched her channel, I'll link her down below and go check her out, because she's just the most no-nonsense person. Like, I feel like she'd be one of those friends who you go to when you know you need some really like honest advice, do you know what I mean? But she has loads of videos where she really goes in depth about how to work with hooded eyes, how to get the best out of them, how to enhance the shape rather than just, you know, fighting against it. And one of the things she says is bringing the eyeshadow a bit further up. And now I am quite lucky in the fact that my eyes are really deep set more than they're hooded. So I do still have quite a lot of lid space, but it isn't visible once I open my eye, if that makes sense. So I've been really enjoying kind of playing about with different shapes on my eye and seeing what works. And this is one that so far I really, really enjoy, because I was always really tempted to wing out my eyeshadow all the time, but I was going too far horizontal. And when with my face shape as well, because I've got quite high, I don't know if it's high cheekbones or if I've just got chubby cheeks. Let's go with high cheekbones. And everything kind of got pulled out and it just threw off the sort of symmetry of my face a little bit. Whereas if I go in this more kind of up and rounded shape, I think it looks nice. I mean, somebody will probably disagree with me out there, but there we go. Alright, that is the shade Awaken down. I'm really enjoying these eyeshadows, guys. I think the formulation of them for the price point is insane. And this brush did it perfectly. Could not ask for more. Now, at this point, I don't know whether to deepen things up a bit with Renaissance, which I still think is funny, or Era. I think I'm going to go with Era, you know. Now, I'm going to get this just on the very, very, like, I'm going to dip the brush, like, directly on, because I don't want this to get too much on, like, the outer perimeter of the brush. I want it to stay very much exactly where I put it. And I am going fairly cautiously with this one, just because it's very bright in the pan and I just want to get a little bit of an idea. Now this one is pressed a little bit harder in the pan, which is okay. We're not going to beat it up for that. Ooh, me likey. This blends beautifully, but it blends easily, which I just said like it was a bad thing. But what I mean by that was that when I went to blend it just out a little bit, the colour carried, which I wasn't quite expecting. So I'm going to go back into Awaken a little bit and just soften that out. I don't want pink eyebrows. Having just said that I've been enjoying bringing my eyeshadow high up, not quite that high. Okay, there we go. So I am just going to go into Renaissance actually a little bit just to see how it's going to pair. And I just want to deepen up literally this outer third of my eye. I'm actually more impressed with this palette off the bat than I was with the Moon Dust, which is interesting. I think it's because the mattes in these palettes definitely have, I mean, they're beautiful. They are formulated absolutely beautifully, whereas in that one I had a little bit of trouble with some of the glitters. So considering this has no glitters in it, this could be a winner. Okay, so there's a shade here, which I'm gonna go with Vive because Vive, like, how would you say that? I don't really know. But anyway, it looks more like Era, but with this kind of blue shift in it than it does on camera. These colours look much more similar in the pan. Oh, I think she's pigmented. Right, I'm using the flatter sort of packing side. Oh, that's pretty. That is very, very pretty. That shade is gorgeous. The blue kind of reflect isn't really translating onto my eye, but I'm kind of happy about that because I sort of want to keep this very much to these cranberry tones. And when I looked at the palette, that one I was a bit like, why blue? That seems like an odd choice considering the rest of the palette. And then I think that's as much of that shade as I'm going to go for. I'm a little bit speechless about this palette at the moment. It's performed beautifully. I mean, you can really see where I've dug into there. And I think I know why that blue reflect is not coming off my eye, because it is in there, like it is in the actual shadow. I don't think they coated it, like, you know how some highlighters, it's literally just the highlight on the top and then you dig into it and it's just powder underneath, which is naughty, and I will never promote a product that's like that because, to be honest, I think that's false advertising. But now, I mean, now you can see how similar it is to Era. It's basically the same, but a little bit deeper, and it does have a slight shimmer shift to it, but not nearly as much as it looks in the pan. So I'm happy about that because I didn't really like the kind of shimmer shift it had, but equally it's a bit naughty that it doesn't quite come across like that on your eye. So I'm just going to clean off the brush on a tissue. I always have a tissue just in front of me whenever I'm doing my makeup that I literally just swirl my brush around on in between uses, and it just means you don't have to clean your brushes quite so often. Obviously, if you are using your brushes on other people, you have to sanitize your brushes in between clients or whatever, but if you're just using them on yourself, I mean, I wash my brushes once they get manky, so probably not as often as I should. Okay, now our brush is nice and clean again. I'm going to go in with this beautiful, beautiful shade, which is called Timeless. And this is a gorgeous looking rose gold sort of a shade. And we're gonna pop that all over that inner half of the lid. Nothing revolutionary. Everybody does this pattern of colours. But you know why? Because it's really pretty. Okay, that shade is stunning. Can you see the blend of this? Particularly on my eyelid. This is just the most beautiful ombre effect. And they're blending into each other in a good way. They're not blending away. Now, I thought I might have to go in with my finger for this, but actually, it's picking up on a brush beautifully. And that was so easy. Who has Aldi got working on these? I want to know, because well done. I think that's all I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go away, I'm gonna do my eyebrows, and then we're gonna come back and we'll finish off the lower lash line. Okay, we are back and the brows are done. For my lower lash line, I have been trying to get better at actually doing something on my lower lash line. Now, I know I said in a few videos ago that I never normally do. That's because I never normally did, but I'm trying out being a little bit more brave with it, I guess. I always thought that it brought my face down, but actually I think that was me bringing my eyeshadow sort of this direction and out, and I think it was what I was doing on my top lid was actually influencing it more. So let me know if you think this looks good because I'm genuinely interested. I'm gonna go in with Awaken just to match what we're doing on the top lid. Still using the brush that came with it. This brush really is not bad. I know that a lot of people on YouTube never use the brushes that come with, and whilst I understand that because you have better brushes sat right in front of you, I often think it's a little bit of a shame because, like I was saying, not everybody has that massive selection of brushes, not everybody needs it. And if you're going away for the weekend or something and you literally just want to grab an eyeshadow palette, your brow product and a mascara, you don't want to be thinking about like, oh, what brushes am I going to use? Like, oh, well, if I do that look, I'm going to need these brushes. If I do that look, I'm going to do the, do you know what I mean? You don't want to be thinking about all of that. So I'm really pleased that this brush is actually performing pretty well. Okay, so now we've got Awaken just all across the lower lash line. I'm going to go in with, I think I'm just going to go in with Vive. I don't think I'm going to go in with Era just because, like I said, they are very, very similar and I actually want a little bit of the shimmer. And I think whilst I am enjoying experimenting with putting a little bit more on my lower lash line, I don't like to layer up in the same way that I think you can get away with on your top eyelid. Eyelid? Eyelid. I have lids, not lads. Okay, getting that. I'm going to build it up a tiny bit more. Again, trying to be brave. Okay, there we go. I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Now, as the absolute finishing touch, I have cleaned off my brush on a tissue again, and I'm going to go in with this Rebirth shade. Now, it has the tiniest bit of shimmer in it, which I think looks beautiful as a sort of brow bone highlight shade, because I don't ever think, and if you do this and you like it, go for your life, but on me, I don't ever think that like a shimmery shade there under the brow bone looks good. It's kind of the same way that I feel about highlighter. I just think it looks too much like you've just put glitter on your face, and I know I have just put pink and purple eyeshadow on my eyes. That's okay. I want people to know I've done that. But when it comes to these sort of tricks of makeup, if you like, so, you know, that glow from within, or, oh no, I haven't been on holiday, you know, it's actually my bronzer, that kind of stuff, or I want to lift my brow a bit, I don't want people to know that I'm using eyeshadow to do that. Do you know what I mean? I just want them to look at it and go, oh, wow, like, her eyebrows look so good, or her eyes look so awake, and you know, whatever you're going for. That's what I want from that particular technique. So whenever it's a shadow like this, which is just, you know what I mean? I think it's absolutely stunning. So that, up close mirror, that is beautiful. Okay, and then this is up close with mascara on. I think, sorry, I'm looking in the viewfinder, I know it's really annoying. I will look at you. I think this looks absolutely beautiful. I love these kinds of, sorry, one sec. There we go, back to a normal view of my face. I love these kinds of berry tones and kind of pinks and purples with blue eyes. I think it just really makes them pop, and I know I did sort of a purpley look with the other palette, so I promise that my next look will be a neutral, normal look, and in fact, I may well do a part 2 and maybe like combine them a little bit and see what look I can create with both of them. I mean, oh, I do not need the third one. I do not need the third one. But for the price point of these shadows, I just I mean, like I said, I have much more expensive eyeshadows that do not perform this well, and the fact that they are Leaping Bunny certified, they're such lovely packaging. It's all cardboard, so when you're done with it, you can, you know, take off the kind of velvety outside and recycle the rest, which is great. I don't really have a bad thing to say about this particular palette. I struggled with a couple of the shades in the Moondust palette, but I didn't have any problems with any of these. I think they all performed beautifully, and I'm really excited to just do a very neutral, warm look with this as well. Like, you can do so much with this, and I mean, I'd wear this eye makeup for a wedding, but if you wanted to do more of kind of bridally sort of style, like especially this Timeless shade, it is timeless, it is beautiful. So I'm gonna stop raving about it now. If you have enjoyed this video, then please do give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I release videos every Friday at 11 AM, and I'm just, yeah, I really enjoy this channel. It's like a lovely little escape, and I can just kind of chat to you guys whilst I'm doing my makeup or trying out some products, which is really lovely. We're all missing being able to do that with our friends at the moment, and so it's kind of nice being able to at least feel like I'm sharing it with somebody. So yeah, please do come and join the family. It'd be so good to have you, and I will see you guys in my next one. Have a lovely week. Try and stay safe in this crazy weather that we're having, and yeah, I will see you guys next Friday. Bye bye. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for my channel. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much. You know it's bad when you can't remember your own intro?